When you think of the cities of the world that are hotbeds for innovative tech, you're probably imagining Silicon Valley, Tokyo, or maybe Singapore. You might not be thinking of this place. But it's these streets here in Helsinki, a city just the size of Glasgow, that house some of the most innovative, influential and successful mobile games companies in the world. This place is home to some of the best games talent out there. So how has this happened? Who better to start giving us answers than someone with over a decade of game-making experience?
Well, Nokia is an obvious answer. The big name in the 1990s.
The heritage, yeah.
Actually showed the example that, we could build something big from Finland or from Helsinki. But we didn't really, as I said, we didn't really have any big publishers or studios. We don't need the connections with the publishers. We don't need to travel the other side of the world. We can just do it from here with Nokia's support.
Does the fact that there was such a successful mobile product from Finland encourage people from Finland to want to stay in that space?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Because I think that was the example, you can actually make it big.
People here do seem proud of the city's success in mobile tech, always happy to chat about it in bars and cafes. But heritage and goodwill only get you so far.
Well, this is really kind of where we have...
Reactor is a company that helps tech businesses, game studios included, make sure they have the right infrastructure in place to succeed.
I think we're just generally very interested in technology. I'm sure that you could also then say that comes from some war background or something back in the day. But then I think in very many ways it's about the cultural sort of situation that we've had here, that essentially Finns, we have this ability of, and it's in the culture, that we can try and then we can fail and then we try again. You don't have to worry about failing. And when you don't have to worry about failing, you're obviously much braver. And then also the government is supporting gaming companies a lot. Nobody wants to come to Helsinki because of the climate, for example. So we have to have other reasons to attract people here.
I've bought a new coat just for this trip. So that sort of says it all.
The latest figures suggest that more than 30% of the developers who work in the games sector here have come to Helsinki from around the world. And attracting the best talent to the city is a key part of the plan to stay on top of the tree. So important, in fact, there's an organisation here whose job is to go out and attract the best gaming talent in the world.
We have a good life here, and life is quite easy. All these soft values, they are coming more and more important. We don't have those money incentives for many things, but actually many people say that when people do their math correctly, you get more here. Because yes, we have maybe less salaries than in Silicon Valley, but you don't have to pay for the schools, so you don't have to pay for the health insurance, and everything like that is covered. So actually you have more money in your pocket in the end.
This blend of history, public investment and talent chasing is working for Helsinki. The 200 game studios here made £2.8 billion in 2022. Now, to put that into context, the games market in the UK was worth £4.7 billion in the same period. But that's a country with a population 12 times bigger. Finland is punching well above its weight here. But really, it shouldn't be a surprise. The first ever Angry Bird was flicked across the screen of an iPad in this city. Last year, Netflix said it was setting up its first ever internal games company here because it has some of the best talent in the world. And then there's Supercell. Supercell are a giant of the mobile game space, responsible for some of the most famous titles in the world. And it's a man from Scotland who's in charge of arguably their most celebrated, Clash of Clans.
Yeah, I think, like many people remember playing Snake on the Nokia 3310.
What a game, what a
super
game.
Popular. Yeah, and heard that it's a Finnish company, and, working in the mobile games industry in particular, kind of be aware of all these great companies that were based in Finland. Finland wasn't that wealthy a country not that long ago. People had computers maybe, but not consoles and things, so people were just doing the PC, and they maybe weren't the best computers at the time either, so it led to this kind of cool kind of demo scene of trying to make the most out of these crazy crazy kind of hackers try to figure out how to make the best of the most. And then obviously when phones came out, you know, they were like very constrained in how powerful they were. And that led to like, you had all these programmers who were really clever at getting the most out of not very much. People here, you know, they heard so much about the stories of companies like Supercell that have been, you know, very successful and really punching above the kind of weight for, you know, a country this size. So I think, you know, people know it's more of a thing, you know, maybe back in the UK when you sort of said you were working in games, you get more of this, oh, if you just play games all day kind of joke, and you're like, no, you know, I think people here like respect it as like a real important industry.
Now, cities in the UK won't be able to replicate that Nokia heritage, but there are plenty of lessons here that show big things can happen in small places.